11 News. Coverage you can count on.
We are following several big stories on the race to vaccinate, including when people who are fully vaccinated for COVID-19 can ease some of the safety rules. Thank you for joining us. I'm Melissa Raymond. First up, a new report from the Allegheny County Health Department. Health officials have learned of 278 new COVID cases since Saturday, all in the past week. Statewide, the two-day total is just under 3,200 new cases. The big COVID-19 vaccination clinic in Heinz Field also continues this week. Right now, though, just know all appointments are filled. Giant Eagle says, though, that it'll add more appointments as more shots become available. More than 4,000 people have already been vaccinated inside Heinz Field. They have more appointments set up over the next 3 days. Remember, you could download the Channel 11 News app to get details if and when more appointments become available. And the CDC has released new guidelines for people who are fully vaccinated. Health officials say that they could gather with other vaccinated people indoors without wearing a mask or social distancing. The CDC also says they could be around people considered low risk for COVID, such as vaccinated grandparents visiting healthy children and grandchildren. The agency still recommends fully vaccinated people continue to wear masks, avoid large gatherings, and physically distance themselves from others when out in public. Teachers across the state will start getting vaccinated this week. A pretty big step in getting kids back to school. Channel 11 Shelley Bort spoke with a local teacher who is sharing how she feels about getting the vaccine and bringing an end to just months of anxiety.
So knowing that we are going to get it brings a peace of mind to me. As a teacher, it's very important because I'm around hundreds of kids a day.
It's been a long time coming, but teachers across the state will begin receiving the COVID-19 vaccine within days. This has been hailed as a vital step to getting kids back in the classroom. Even with social distancing and mask wearing, the duration of time teachers spend indoors is also a factor.
It just makes me nervous. Being there 4 days a week, it does make me nervous because some of the kids don't wear their masks properly, and it has been proven that people can still get it even though they have been wearing masks.
Kelly Collins is a school teacher in the Lower Highlands School District. She has been teaching in person most of the school year. So for her, moving to the front of the line to receive the vaccine means more than just protecting herself.
The biggest concern for me was if I would get the disease, I would not want to transfer it to my mom. My mom is sick. So I was extra worried and taking extra precautions to make sure that I did not get COVID.
The state is setting aside 124,000 doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine for educators across the Keystone State. It's enough to vaccinate over 60% of teachers. After the first shipment, health officials warned, though, we might not see new deliveries of it for 2 weeks.
That vaccinating teachers is not a prerequisite for in-person learning, but it has become a contentious issue between unions and school boards. So I'm glad to see that it's happening because that means that we're one step closer to in-person learning for many school districts that have been virtual for far too long.
We have been back to work for weeks, and a lot of teachers were nervous about it. So knowing that it's coming this week or next week, a lot of teachers feel a big sigh of relief.
Shelley Bort, Channel 11 News.
You could switch to a lighter coat today. I mean, maybe even bust out the shorts. It's above 20 degrees, Scott. I think it's appropriate.
Hey, in Western Pennsylvania, March, it's all you need to get the shorts and the T-shirts out. Beautiful day on Tower Cam. Live look into downtown Pittsburgh from Fine View. Sun-drenched skies, temperature up to 42 degrees now. Southwest wind at 11. Going to continue to pump in that warmer air. Already 46 in Washington and in Morgantown right now. Butler, Beaver, both at 44 degrees. So nice, mild afternoon. Maybe get the kids out of the playground in the next couple of hours because temperatures will push into the low 50s. Sunshine, few clouds throughout the day today. And this isn't even the warmest day we're going to have. I'm tracking when you'll make it into the 60s, plus how much of the week is going to be dry. I'll have that for you coming up in a few minutes.
Now we have new information on a SWAT situation in Oakmont last night. Police had part of Allegheny River Boulevard blocked off for about 5 hours. Investigators told us this morning officers were called to a house to do a welfare check on a man, and he refused to open the door and threatened the officers. That's when SWAT was called in. The man surrendered peacefully right around 2:30 this morning. Police are looking for a shooter after a man was left in critical condition in Clairton. Police were called to Farnsworth Avenue just before 10 10 last night. They found the victim with a gunshot wound to the back. They're asking for witnesses to please come forward and contact Allegheny County Police. Police say a man called 911 himself and confessed after killing another man in Homewood. Police say Christopher Papalia shot Julian Carter early Saturday morning. When they got to the scene, they say the Trafford man approached them and his clothes were just covered in blood. That's when officers say he told them he shot Carter. Court documents also show he called 911 right after the shooting, gave his name, and told dispatchers he shot Carter. A judge denied him bail because he's charged with homicide. Jury selection in the trial of Derek Chauvin will pick back up. Chauvin is the former Minneapolis police officer charged in the death of George Floyd. There was a break this morning after a motion on third-degree murder charge. Chauvin faces charges of second-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter. You know, he was seen on video last May kneeling on Floyd's neck for more than 8 minutes. Security measures are in place in Minneapolis in preparation for potential unrest. You can see here demonstrations were held this weekend in Minneapolis. The protesters involved in this march called for an overhaul of police departments in Minneapolis as well as nationwide. The death of George Floyd prompted changes to how police do their job right here in Pittsburgh. City Council created a racial equity commission. It also banned the use of chokeholds by police and the use of facial recognition software in the city. The Allegheny County Democratic Committee has endorsed State Rep Ed Gainey for Pittsburgh mayor. Gainey thanked the committee and wrote on Facebook, "It's the first time an African American has received the endorsement from the Allegheny County Democratic Committee to be mayor." Retired police officer Tony Moreno is also seeking the committee's endorsement. The other two candidates, incumbent Pittsburgh Mayor Bill Peduto and Will Parker, were not. The primary is May 18th. Time right now is 12:05. President Biden will sign 2 executive orders today. Both address women's rights on this International Women's Day. The first order will formally establish the White House Gender Policy Council. The second one will direct the Department of Education to review policies implemented by former President Trump. Administration officials say this order could pave the way to a major shift in how colleges handle allegations of sexual misconduct. The House is set to vote on the president's COVID relief bill tomorrow. The package passed the Senate Saturday, and it includes the anticipated $1,400 stimulus payments, along with a child tax credit. That's up to $3,600 for kids up to 5 years old, and then $3,000 for children 6 to 17. The bill also temporarily increases subsidies for people buying health insurance through the Affordable Care Act's marketplaces. Also continues the $300 per week boost on employment benefits. The president has said he wants to sign the bill by Sunday. The world is talking about Meghan Markle's interview with Oprah. During the interview, she admitted to having suicidal thoughts because of her struggles with the royal life. She even said there were discussions about her son's skin color. NBC's Keir Simmons has more on the really explosive interview.
Are having a baby.
In a devastating interview, a visibly pregnant Duchess of Sussex told Oprah Winfrey her royal life in London left her suicidal.
I just didn't want to be alive anymore. And that was a very clear and real and frightening, constant thought.
The young family sharing a video from a Californian beach. But Meghan says before she had baby Archie, there were conversations about his status in the royal family and about his race.
In those months when I was pregnant, all around this same time, so we have in tandem the conversation of he won't be given security, he's not going to be given a title, and also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
What? And you're not going to tell me who had the conversation?
I think that would be very damaging to them.
Well, what is particularly striking is what Meghan shared with us earlier, is that no one wants to admit that there's anything about race or that race has played a role in the trolling and the vitriol. What was that conversation?
That conversation I'm never going to share. But at the time, At the time, it was awkward. I was a bit shocked.
The strain, Harry and Meghan say, ultimately driving them away from the UK and from the royal family.
When we were in Canada, I had 3 conversations with my grandmother and 2 conversations with my father before he stopped taking my calls. I took matters in, by that point, I took matters into my own hands. It was like, I need to do this for my family.
The couple say the British press played a major role. Crucially, the couple say they felt unprotected. The scars are clear.
You said that you love your brother and always will love your brother. You didn't tell me what the relationship is now, though.
The relationship is space at the moment. And, you know, time heals all things, hopefully.
Keir Simmons, NBC News, London.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex say they have an ongoing good relationship with the Queen, and Oprah Winfrey, speaking on CBS, said she was told by Harry and Meghan that the unnamed royal who talked about Archie's skin color was not the Queen or Prince Philip.
I typically don't get sick. I haven't been sick in years.
This woman right here beat COVID-19. Now she's dealing with an unexpected side effect. Why doctors say she's losing her hair. That's ahead at 12:30. Targeting senior citizens, how crooks are wiping out a lifetime's worth of savings in an instant.
Spring fever coming this week. I'll show you how many days we're going to make it into the 60s.
Next, the message this group hopes Pittsburgh's bishop hears as they try to save their school. Welcome back. Parishioners are trying to save a Catholic school in Crafton. The St. Philip School opened 106 years ago. Now the Pittsburgh Catholic Diocese is merging the elementary school with the school in Greentree. This past weekend, you could see here a group of parents, students, and alumni gathered for this rosary walk. The Save the School Committee appealed Bishop Zubik's decision last month. By law, the bishop has 30 days to respond. An online petition has garnered more than 2,000 signatures already.
We've asked questions for transparency around the financials and the determinations that were used, and we feel that all of that is not being shared. It's not very transparent, and to be quite frank, the process that they followed is invalid.
The diocese recently said it shares in the sadness that comes with the realization that change is required to create sustainable, accessible, and affordable Catholic education. You've likely noticed surge in gas prices. Yep, they've jumped the $3 mark in and around the Pittsburgh area. And Channel 11's Mike Holden learned they won't be dropping anytime soon.
Next time you go to fuel up, get ready to pay more at the pump. Experts are saying gas prices are skyrocketing to well over $3 a gallon, and they say, unfortunately, you're just going to have to get used to it for now. Well over $3 a gallon for regular unleaded. Our Channel 11 camera captured one gas station sign after the next, listing the average price of $3.09. The current average across the Commonwealth is $3. That's more than 25 cents in comparison to the national average of $2.77 a gallon. AAA says prices are rising due to increased demand with more folks traveling as the pandemic moves forward, rising crude oil prices, and tightening of gas supplies. Drivers tell us it hasn't been easy.
Yeah, and it's kind of ridiculous, but, you still got to get gas. You still got to, get from point A to point B, from work to home.
We are the highest in the nation, and it's a pleasure to go to Florida as compared to $1.89 at times. I think it was last year. It was down there.
And last year at this time, experts say gas prices in Pittsburgh were actually 50 cents cheaper. We're now getting to the bottom of when there will be potential relief and what you can do in the interim. For Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting this afternoon, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
12:15 on this Monday afternoon. Look at this scary video showing the moment a car just slams right into a North Carolina martial arts school. Jeez, in this video you can see that car smashing through the wall of the school in Charlotte. This happened over the weekend on Saturday. Luckily, the car stops just within a few feet away from those students. You see them in the top left corner. Police say the driver, who suffered minor injuries, was driving recklessly and lost control. Amazingly, again, no one inside this building was hurt. Now to a warning for older people. Scammers are targeting seniors in a new bail scam. According to our partners at the Trib, the caller will claim to be a young relative who wrecked their car and just desperately needs bail money. Police say one woman in Scottsdale got a call from someone claiming to be her great-grandson who got in a DUI crash and had a broken nose. She didn't fall for it. Instead, she checked to make sure her great-grandson was okay. And scams like that have become a real sad reality. In some cases, a lifetime of savings can be wiped out just in an instant. NBC's Chris Pallone has the steps you can take to make sure it doesn't happen to you or your family member.
Teresa Okaskis-Allen says she was reviewing bills with her 78-year-old mother, Jan, one day when she started to sense that something wasn't right.
She was paying a bill every month for life insurance, but yet she didn't have life insurance.
Teresa discovered someone had talked her mom into buying a prepaid funeral. When she started digging into the details, Teresa learned her mother was paying 22% interest on something she could have paid in full all at once.
And over the course of 10 years, the value of $6,400, she would have actually paid out $16,000.
But that wasn't all. It turns out Jan also fell victim to a very common tax collection scam.
She owed money and she needed to pay right on the spot, or her and my brother were going to be taken to jail.
Amy Knopfziger with the AARP says as we age, we become bigger targets for scammers.
Honestly, they hold the majority of wealth in the United States, and scammers go where the money is.
She suggests people teach their elderly loved ones not to answer the phone if they don't know who's calling, and warn them never to give out any account numbers to strangers.
Anybody that asks you for a prepaid gift card, red flag. Anyone that asks you for Bitcoin, social security number, Medicare number, financial institution information, all of those are red flags.
Teresa says her mother now has her mail and bills sent directly to her children and is relieved she doesn't have to deal with it anymore.
She's still having people that are trying to reach out to her to take advantage of her age and of her vulnerability.
As the nation ages, it's a tough but important conversation to have to prevent years of hard work and savings being drained away by one phone call or email. Chris Pallone, NBC News.
To cut down on the number of scammers and robocalls that reach her mother, the woman in that story says she's paying just a few dollars a month for a service that intercepts those calls before they ever ring her mother's phone.
Your severe winter Team 11 forecast.
Well, most of us will definitely take the sunshine, and temperatures today certainly warmer than Saturday and Sunday. Saturday never even made it out of the 30s. Yesterday, 41 degrees. We're already past that right now. Live look at our PennDOT cameras. The Parkway North, Camp Horn Road, sun-drenched roads, and we're dry on I-79 at Kerwin Heights too. Not many clouds around. There are a couple out there, but not a whole lot. And temperatures right now fairly comfortable for this time of the year. Yes, not as warm as some of you would like, but keep in mind, normal high temperature for today, only 47 degrees. I mean, it is March, but it's a progressive warm-up. 42 in Pittsburgh right now, 44 in Butler, 41 in Greensburg. Here's the visible satellite. Again, we have some clouds trying to pinwheel into the area. Most of them are high to mid-level clouds, so that means the sun gets through them fairly easily. We'll see this one little wave come through, and then the skies will clear out a bit more as we head toward 4, 5, and 6 o'clock. And that sunset not until 6:20, so you have plenty of time after the afternoon hours to even enjoy a little daylight coming into this evening. Lots of sunshine today. About 10 hours worth, a little less tomorrow and Wednesday. We will see some clouds come in, but it's going to remain dry. If we were to go straight sunshine from sunrise to sunset, maybe a little more than 11 and a half hours. We're doing pretty good the next couple of days. Thursday, we start to get a little bit of a hiccup with some cloud cover and some showers, but temperatures will remain mild right through the end of the work week. Dog walking forecast this afternoon. Dogs are going to like the weather outside today. Mix of sun and clouds, low 50s, 47 still at 8 o'clock tonight. That southwest wind will keep kicking tonight, so temperatures tonight will not drop off nearly as much as they did last night. A lot of areas started this morning in the teens. Tomorrow morning will be in the upper 30s. 39 in Pittsburgh, 37 in Butler. Greensburg only dropping to 40 degrees, and then tomorrow 60 for the high temperature in Pittsburgh, 61 in Butler, and 62 in Uniontown. 5-day forecast with your weekend always in view. Mid-60s on Wednesday. Little breezy, partly sunny skies, but a southwest wind, so a warm wind. Thursday, couple showers around 63 again. Not an all-day rain. There are no all-day rains in this forecast. Friday, 60 showers from time to time and a little cooler over the weekend, but still looking pretty good. May have a stray shower or two Saturday, 53. Scattered showers on Sunday and 49 degrees.
Call it beginner's luck ahead. The high school senior who won the lottery on her very first try. Plus, robocalls on the rise. Americans got more than 4 billion just last month. The kind of calls you need to be on the lookout for. Welcome back. Did it seem like you got more robocalls last month? You're right, you probably did. Americans got 4.6 billion robocalls in February. That's just 1 month in February. This is according to YouMail, a robocall blocking app. That was a 15% increase over January. Scam calls saw the biggest increase, up 26%, followed by fake alerts and reminders, as well as payment reminders. Here's something exciting to look forward to. Kennywood Park is set to open 2 months from today. Circle it on your calendar. And Sandcastle is set to open Memorial Day weekend. The parks are looking to hire 1,500 workers to bring them back to life this spring and summer. The steel curtain will be back on track at Kennywood this year, after being sidelined last summer. The parks expect to have normal hours, and of course, COVID mitigation rules will be followed. Six Flags amusement parks are already opening for the season. It was the earliest opening for the theme park in Maryland over the weekend. Of course, a lot has changed. Safety first for this opening. Face masks, hand sanitizer stations, social distancing markers, and regular cleanings for those highly touched surfaces. Guests say it's all worth it to get out and have some fun.
Well, I don't ride rides anymore. I'm a little old, but to see my nephews, the joy on their face by coming to Six Flags, because I grew up here. I came here for years. I worked here when I was a child, so for them to enjoy the experience.
Attendance will also be closely monitored, and guests have to buy tickets ahead of time.
Once the pandemic hit, I had a lot more time to scroll and a lot more time to look on Amazon.
Our consumer investigator explains why you shouldn't always trust what you read.
I typically don't get sick. I haven't been sick in years.
And this woman right here beat COVID. The unexpected side effect, though, she's been dealing with months later. A woman beat COVID-19, but months later, an unexpected side effect is devastating her daily. She's losing her hair. Now she's hoping to spread the word and help others understand what could be happening to them. Erin Sullivan explains what's happening.
I typically don't get sick. I haven't been sick in years.
Kelly Ryan suffered a tough bout with COVID-19 in October.
It really knocked me out.
Fortunately, she made a full recovery.
I don't feel sick. I don't have headaches.
But about 4 months after her initial diagnosis, something unexpected started happening.
When I was taking the shower, I kind of started to see a lot more hair in the drain, and I was thinking, oh, well, that's kind of odd, you know.
Her long, thick hair started falling out.
Combing my hair, it was just coming out in big chunks of hair.
Week after week, more hair loss.
It's really hard not to start the day out with sadness.
She went to see Dr. Apple Bodemer, a dermatologist at UW, who knew right away what this was.
There's a type of hair loss called telogen effluvium, which commonly happens after either a physiological, or a psychological stressor. And that can include heart attacks, car accidents, having a baby,
or getting COVID.
She told me that it was, you know, an effect of COVID.
Dr. Bodemer explained that hair is a non-essential structure. So when the body is fighting off infection, hair can go into a pause state. 4 to 6 months later, regrowth starts. And that's when the shedding begins.
People can lose a significant amount of hair. Up to 50% is pretty common.
Dr. Bodemer has seen a huge uptick in patients with hair loss as a side effect of COVID.
Some days I was seeing maybe 5 patients a day with hair loss, and prior to COVID, I was maybe seeing 1 a week.
The good news is the hair will grow back in 6 to 12 months. But Kelly says that doesn't make it any easier.
It is emotional because your hair is part of your identity. And as women, right or wrong, we identify with our hair. I mean, it becomes a part of us.
Kelly hopes sharing her story can help others get to the root of their own hair loss.
Ask a lot of questions. Talk to your doctor. You can feel more secure in knowing that you're not going through this alone.
It's important to see a doctor if hair loss persists because this can also be caused by an underlying medical condition. The best way to help the hair grow back is stress reduction. Pennsylvania is extending the help it's giving nursing homes, but it will be a scaled-down version since federal funding ran out in December. The program will continue to offer testing, staff support, and rapid response in the event of an outbreak. It will run through May. UPMC is alerting some St. Margaret patients that their information may have been exposed. The breach included patient names, drugs taken, and dosages. The employee they say is responsible was fired. The U.S. is working to stop an active threat from hackers exploiting flaws in Microsoft software. At least 30,000 organizations could be involved in this, including businesses and local governments. Microsoft says hackers are targeting vulnerabilities in their Exchange email application, and they blame China for the hack. United Steelworkers could soon go on strike against ATI after more than a year of stalled contract negotiations. According to our partners at the Trib, 95% of the union agreed to authorize a strike at a meeting. Recently, this meeting happened. The members who voted work at 9 ATI locations. They say they want better wages, benefits, and working conditions. This is one we'll be keeping a close eye on. Lawmakers in 24 states want to open up social media companies to lawsuits. By law, the companies can't be sued for removing posts or banning users. Politicians in the 24 states have introduced bills that would let people and organizations sue. The bills, mostly from Republicans, claim the platforms are biased against their political or religious beliefs. Democrats are behind similar bills in 2 states. On the flip side, though, Twitter and Facebook also have been criticized for acting too slowly to take down offensive or misleading content. Getting our temperatures checked at more places these days. The warning from the FDA about why they could give you a false sense of security. And just a heads up, watch out for robots. The new state law giving delivery bots some of the same rights as pedestrians. This is something I feel weird saying. Watch out for robots. A state law is now in effect giving delivery robots the right to operate right on the city sidewalks. They're allowed to drive on sidewalks and paths as well as the road, and they are legally considered pedestrians. So they could go up to 12 miles per hour on the sidewalk and 25 miles per hour on the road. Pennsylvania is one of a dozen states allowing these autonomous delivery bots. The National Association of City Transportation Officials is against them, though. They say more needs to be done to make sure our sidewalks stay safe. And last year, we showed you these delivery robots in Oakland. Starship Technologies was testing the bots at Pitt. People could order from a handful of campus eateries and then get the food delivered straight to them. And more about technology. You know those forehead thermometers you step in front of and when you go to places like a hospital or the airport? The FDA has a bit of a warning. So they don't want you to get a false sense of security if your temperature is not high. And they don't want you to think you have the coronavirus if the infrared camera detects a fever. The FDA says the thermal imaging systems can work as part of a broader approach to stopping COVID-19, but things like social distancing, wearing a mask, and hand washing have to be part of that too. Now to some vaccine confusion in South Florida. A Miami-Dade vaccination site didn't have enough eligible takers Saturday. So what it did was it just started inoculating any adult who wanted a shot rather than let the vaccine on hand go to waste. As you can imagine, word about this spread very quickly, and then yesterday the site was overwhelmed with hundreds of people hoping to get vaccinated. The problem was made even worse when a local state senator incorrectly tweeted that the federally run site would again take all comers. Police had to calm the crowd Sunday when the site again had to enforce the state's eligibility rules. Many of us are doing more and more of our shopping online, and the decision to hit the buy button may come down to those online reviews. While you can't always trust what you read.
Well, a warm week doesn't mean a completely dry week. I'm tracking when you'll need to find the umbrella.
Online shopping has become even more popular since the start of the pandemic, and a lot of people are using online reviews to help them decide if they're going to even make some serious purchases. But that feedback can be misleading and even false. Channel 11 consumer investigator Angie Moreski explains why you shouldn't always trust what you read.
Online shopping was up an incredible 44% in 2020, but also on the rise, fake online reviews. 1 star, 5 stars, it can make a big difference in what you buy. But be careful before you trust what you see.
I really like this one.
Erica Forney didn't shop much online before the pandemic, but now, like so many of us, shifted her buying behavior to the web.
5 star, 5 star, 5 star.
Where we're seeing an explosion of online reviews. Do you read those online reviews?
Yes, I read a lot of them actually. 1 star and it says cheap crap.
Whether it's bad or good, studies show reviews have influence with consumers.
When there are a lot of bad reviews, I don't want to buy it.
Consumers depend on reviews more and more all the time.
The chief trust officer at Trustpilot, an online review open platform, says during the pandemic they've seen an increase in fake reviews, which they try to flag and remove.
Taken down 2.2 million fake reviews this year, and that amounted to about 5% of the total reviews that we collected.
FakeSpot, another website that flags fake reviews, estimates even more. Its analysis showed about 30% of product reviews on Amazon are unreliable, 50% on Walmart.com, and a whopping 95% of reviews for Chinese no-name companies are inauthentic.
It can be businesses either leaving reviews about themselves or about competitors. It can also be consumers leaving reviews that aren't really genuine.
Platforms like Trustpilot use analytics software to spot suspicious patterns.
So things like the timing between posts, looks at patterns around language, things that would look strange or are repeated too often by the same IP address.
Red flags you can look for: reviews that are overly simple and lack detail, bad grammar and misspellings, and lots of reviews posted in a short period of time, which can be a sign a retailer paid for reviews.
I mean, surprises me in a sense, but it doesn't because of the world we live in now.
It's always a good idea to do a little detective work and look at a few different sources for information. Compare reviews on sites like Trustpilot, Yelp, and Better Business Bureau if it's a company. And for fakespot.com, you can actually go to retailers like Amazon and Walmart and take the URL from a product or a business page, plug it right into fakespot.com, analyze, and it comes back with a rating for you on that business or review. And Trustpilot also has a business transparency page to give you an idea of how a company will respond if you have a problem.
What we actually like to see are businesses that, when they make a mistake, they engage in the right way and fix the problem.
A little extra research before you buy can save a lot of headaches. If you do suspect a fake review, it's a good idea to report it to the platform you're using and to the Federal Trade Commission. We'll have a link for you on our app and website. Angie Moreski, 11 Investigates.
It's 12:45 on this Monday afternoon, and you can now show your support for women in the military with a license plate. For every one of these plates that are bought, $15 will go to the Veterans Trust Fund. There are about 60,000 female veterans who live in Pennsylvania.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
I want to start off with the visible satellite to show you most of the cloud cover today is kind of being shunted to the north and east of Pittsburgh. We've had a couple clouds in the Pittsburgh area, but should be a fair amount of sunshine this afternoon, just mixing in with a couple high to mid-level clouds. Temperatures are responding. We still have a couple of 30s, Clarion 38, Brookville 37, but already 46 degrees in Newcastle, 47 in Beaver. Pittsburgh is at 42. Washington and Morgantown both at 46 degrees. Plenty of time to get outside the next couple of days. Dry daylight hours, we're looking good today, tomorrow, Wednesday. Rain-free days if we go sunrise to sunset, about 11.5 dry hours possible, so we'll be there the next couple of days. Thursday, few showers, but just a few. 8 of the daylight hours should still be dry, so a so-so day on Thursday, not terrible by any stretch of the imagination. We're going to do a little grilling late this afternoon, get that spring fever going. Get the grill fired up later today. Temperatures in the low 50s through about 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock this evening, 48 degrees with just a couple of clouds. Not going to be very cool overnight tonight, only dropping to 39. Normal low temperature is about 27 degrees, so well above normal tonight. Tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds. Pretty nice day. I think most folks are going to like that 60-degree mark. Even the winter lovers, let's get a break once in a while. I mean, it is still technically winter, and we still have some cooler air coming back in next week, but at least we've gotten out of the pattern of the constant below normal temperatures we had for much of the month of February. As a matter of fact, last week's average high temperature was 44 degrees. This week, we're going to average 57 for the high temperature. 5-day forecast with your weekend always in view. 60 for the high tomorrow with that mix of sun and clouds. And then on Wednesday, we'll see partly sunny skies. 65 for the high temperature Wednesday. Will be a little breezy too. Wednesday, winds out of the southwest at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Then Thursday and Friday, here comes that chance of rain again. Not a great chance of rain, just a couple of showers on Thursday. Most of the daylight hours will be dry. 63 for the high temperature. Friday, 60, off and on showers. Better chance of showers Friday during the morning hours. Then over the weekend, could be a quick shower Saturday, 53. A couple of showers Sunday. A little cooler, 49, but those temperatures still above normal for this time of the year. Melissa?
Thanks, Scott. And here's something for those 2 rainy days this week. Disney's first major movie release in a year. Raya and the Last Dragon topping the box office this weekend with $8.6 million. This is according to ComScore. However, the nation's 3rd largest theater chain, Cinemark, didn't play the film, and they still got that much money. The move comes amid tensions between Hollywood studios and theater chains over whether theaters get to show movies before they premiere on streaming services. Raya is also available on Disney+. Now here's local steals and deals. Lisa Robertson.
Hey guys, have you noticed that all the trending articles are about being organized, cleaning up your mess, where things go, yada, yada? I read all those, but they don't give me the tools, so I'm still unorganized. But we're bringing you something that's going to help you get organized because we're always looking for things to make your life better. This is the Splay tray, 2 different sizes, 3 different colors, but here's what's cool. I'm organized, I go. When I get there, here's my workspace. So it's all done with magnets. Open it up, right? Side, side. Now I have a tray, now I have the workspace. So I bring it out from under the counter in the bathroom in the morning and I have all my beauty. I open it up and my kids have their art supplies. I'm gonna be working from home, here's my home office stuff. I'm gonna be traveling, I put my beauty here, I put it in my suitcase. When I get to the hotel, I have my own workspace. This brilliant invention is all due to a young lady named Allie who is joining us today.
Traveling around Southeast Asia, staying in hostels with very limited personal space, I was getting so frustrated with having to take all of my stuff out of my bags just to put it right back in. When I got home to the States, I really started thinking about that problem and I knew that there had to be a solution. So I started folding a piece of paper to try to create a bag that started as a bag form and opened out into a tray, which then turned into creating a prototype with fabric on a sewing machine, and then we ended up moving to the more manufactured version. This Splay tray can be used for art supplies, picnic food, pens and pencils, gaming supplies like Dungeons and Dragons dice. It can be used as a first aid kit, a sewing kit, or even for yarn and crochet tools.
Thank you so much, Allie. I love the whole idea. Organized and on the go, workspace when you get there. Right now on localsteals.com, we have a very special offer on these for you. So think about where they'd make sense in your house and who else would love to have one, because you can definitely save money on both.
A Kansas high school senior turned 18 and decided to play the lottery for the very first time. And get this, won $25,000. Yeah, $25,000. And she only paid $5 for this scratch-off ticket. She did it 4 days after her birthday. A spokesperson for the lottery says it's really rare for a person to win big on their very first try. The teen plans to use the money to help pay for college. And the first ever female host for Jeopardy, getting ready for Jeopardy, and it's just in time for International Women's Day. Katie Couric will be guest hosting the show for 2 weeks. Couric says that she loves Jeopardy and Alex Trebek. She says she's honored to be the first woman to host. And remember, you could watch Couric host Jeopardy starting at 7 o'clock tonight right here on Channel 11. Another sweet story, a pop-up art exhibit in Squirrel Hill is about bringing the community together. The gallery is set up in the garage of the Jewish Community Center of Greater Pittsburgh. It features 25 posters that have been in the windows of different small businesses for the past few months. Artists of all ages participated in this, including the kiddos. The goal is to promote healing, friendship, and love while supporting businesses all at the same time.
Campaign, what we're really connecting with is the idea that we are building a society where there is inclusion, where there is tolerance, where we are looking for safety for everybody, where we're looking for, the people to acknowledge that we're not going to live with racism or anti-Semitism or homophobia.
The project was organized by the 1027 Healing Partnership, which was created after the shooting at the Tree of Life Synagogue. That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5. We'll see you back here tomorrow. I'm Melissa Raymond. Have an incredible day.